Alright, Timberborn Series 3. We died in the Series 2, so we will play Iron Teeth again. And this time I think we can go Helix Mountains, not too bad. Lakes we have played, so it's either going to be Helix Mountain, slightly smaller mountain range, or Terrace. 1,000 Islands. That could be interesting, but that could pose similar water issues to what we had in Series 2. Which could be interesting. I think we'll go terraces. That looks like a lot of fun, so we'll go terraces and we'll go hard again. And we shall start Series 3. And we will see if we have learnt anything and can remember anything and be a little bit more successful. To be perfectly honest with you, my hopes are not high. I don't always get onto these games as quickly as I'd like to, or as often I should say as I like to. Oh, we're at the top and we have a water source right there. That is good. That is very good, and then it falls down. So do we eventually levy all of this on the inside? See, we could levy straight across here and blow all this out. We could even blow all this out at some point, which would probably be the better way to go. We do get levies quicker and earlier. And the water. So we have steel just over there and water below. Oh, this is definitely a different, interesting map. A mine there that is rather low, that's alright, and that is a water source, so we actually have water coming in there. So the two join up and disappear out this way. Alright, beautiful. We could even try to get a district over here as quickly as possible, or even in here somewhere. And just levy that up. We could certainly bring it up 2 and flood in here. 2 would work there. 2 would work here as well. And along here. It may not work there though. Yes, it would. It should work here as well. There might be some flooding and that'll disappear over here, so that is something that they clearly have thought of. That previous map design, I must admit, was pretty good. Very good to catch you out, which it did catch us out. And there's a little reservoir pre-built ready to go for us to utilize down the track. So what should we do? Well, we want to consider bringing a district over to build this, and we can build it from the top. So if we want to do that, we need some paths, and we'll bring a path in there because we can. And we obviously need districts close enough that they can build all of the infrastructure required to get from one area to another. In the meantime, we still have to do some things to facilitate our plans. So we will be needing a berry gatherer, which we should put in now. And then the path can come straight across to him. Oop, he's too high. We'll delete that. Put a berry gatherer in. And we will also need a lumberjack. And we can begin to cut down some trees. We'll just tilt it up a bit. let's be a little bit more conservative. And now I think we can go to ones, just to see which is going to be the better outcome for regeneration of the forest. We won't be worrying about planting just yet. Excuse me. The water pump. Well, I guess for now, because we will get 2 in here, so I guess for now it can go there. And we'll be wanting water tanks in the future, so why not just bring it straight down there. That'll do. I'm ready for second one. So at least we can get water and food, and then at some point we will get logs. We do have 4, so that'll be how many people we have. 7, so we can boost this up to 4 for now. 4, 5, 6, 7. So we will be wanting to get dams as quickly as possible, and we're going to put it right on the end. We will look to get down, which means we will need some power and some production, so we will be needing a lumber mill. Whoops, but first we need to build some power for said lumber mill. There is a little bit of flow coming through there, so this is not the hugest of water sources. It's 2, but we can deal with that to begin with, and we will want that done so that we can then put in our lumber mill. We were going to put a tank there, but I think we'll just do that for now. And we will let this go, and we will see what happens. We do want to make sure that our water supply is good, and we will also be needing where are we, population control. That is in housing. Breeding pods. We'll put 2 in. We'll get them both manufactured, and before anyone starts dying on us. And we'll run both of them. The best water flow probably is here, so we may even that actually is the case. They have started building that, so we'll let it go, but we should have probably put our water wheel there. But we do need water, and these small water tanks can go in. And we will see where we get to. And there is someone in there. Yep. Why is he not working? He is full of berries. Excellent. So we're off to a reasonable start, I guess. Yes, we'll see how we get on with this interesting map. We need to build paths out to our dam. We'll obviously have to make all our pathing a little bit more efficient in the not too distant future, in order to get down to here. And when we're talking about platforms, each time we build a platform we're needing 4 planks, so the higher we can get each one the better, which reminds me we have already forgotten one of our more important buildings, being our inventor. We want to get some science points as quickly as possible. So we're now getting water, which is good. Our logs are beginning to number up, which is also good. We need these dams which are being constructed. Excellent. And then we really have to think about what are we going to be doing next. Where do we want to go to? How do we want to maintain our water supply? We would have to levy this in order to flood it, otherwise it'll just drain over the top. There's 2 coming into here, so we want to get as far down here as possible, i.e. there, or even that is going to be the best place to flood backwards, that is for sure. But as far as water supply in general, we want to get down to in here somewhere, and we could even do it there and let this whole area in front flood up. There's a mine up on the hill there, so that would actually work, and let the bottom section or flood. Well, we would have to put mechanical pumps in to do that, which we could do if we get to that point of this the game with this series. We could definitely look at doing that. And as far as flooding backwards this way, we've got a few levels that we can go up, so that wouldn't be an issue. And there is a mine down there, but I think for us the closest would be this one here, and we could dam across there. That's quite good flowing water, or we could even dam across here and utilize this section for our industry. And then we could have some logging up in these 2 sections to provide what is required for our mine to operate, which is where we'll be needing the treated planks and dynamite and gears. The dynamite and gears, the dynamite anyway will be coming from here. So there we go, we have our dams in place. Beautiful, that should maintain some water when we have a flood in less than a day. We'll let these guys keep running. We have power up and going, and we are, while the water is running, we are getting 34 horsepower, which is not too bad. The lumber mill requires 50. So we could have almost built 2 of them, and we will put in a facility for that now, I think. We might even see how many we can get across here. 3. So that'll keep that lumber mill up and running beautifully. I don't think we will be able to, no we cannot, so we will be needing a set of steps. Of course we don't have enough science. We don't actually have any science at this point. We do have someone in there though, that is good. And the drought has started. It's a 4-day drought. It should not really be an issue. You see all the water running away from everywhere else. I am still trying to work out the best way to get across to the other side here, and I think we may need to get some tall platforms to make it as efficient as possible. We won't be able, we need steps in here to be able to build this. These water wheels, and perhaps putting that water collector there was an error in judgment, and we should have the lumber mill here with the water wheel behind it so that we could have ducked straight across here and made this pathway as efficient as possible. They do only take logs, so moving them won't be an issue at all. And we will actually, while we are here, because I don't think that's been started yet, and I don't think that has been started yet, so we will delete them and put in a pathway across there. And then we can also go and delete that path and put our little water tanks right across the road. And then we'll definitely get rid of this one, and we'll actually probably even do that and have 2 plank producers. Yep, we could fit that in there quite easily, and then our path will be 1 step across. This one here obviously will not get much power production with the wall right in front of it, but 25 logs, we should have plenty of logs. We will need the forester to maintain that at some point. That is 60 science, as well as we are going to be needing 70, quite a lot of science to unlock the platforms, which are definitely going to be a priority so that we can come across to this side. We will have to come down there, and we'll probably come down again and then work our way across, and while we're here we can come down and try to get over to here, unless we can get this. We shall see. It is going to be a difficult conundrum. I foresee a failure in this particular playthrough as well. Unfortunately, the pump cost us 12 logs, so I'm happy to sacrifice those 12 logs to move it now that we've had a bit more think. So don't be worried about rushing into anything, because you really do not need to. And we are already producing new beavers, so we will need to be getting some housing at some point. And we can put a couple of houses in there just to maintain their life expectancy. We want that to be as high as possible. Actually, we can leave that on play. We'll build everything else that we want to put in, we'll put in as a priority. So, and we will be getting our steps first, I think, at 70. I think that would be a good way to go. So we can put you on pause, or no, let's get that last 5%. Let's slow the speed down so that we can get this to its most efficient. Productivity is 74, productivity is 79, excellent. We want to get this up to 100%. There we go. Pause it. Pause it. Alright, continue. And when that is drained of its resources, we will remove it. And we should have steps just about by then. And we can put another lumber mill in here. And that will actually work quite well. Looks like our forest is perhaps starting to grow out quite nicely. This one. Our berries are being ravaged, which brings us on to our next problem of farming. We will be needing carrots, which we have forgotten about and we should not have. So let's put in Our plots of carrots: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 50. 50 carrots should do. We'll just have the one farmhouse for now. Yep, we'll put it there. We can expand those carrots up a little bit. We will try to keep our numbers fairly low, and there's the water coming back, and we are spinning up some planks. We will probably, hopefully, max out its capacity for holding of 13. And then as soon as we get our steps, which we are nearly at now, so that's kind of worked out alright. It's a bit of a waste of logs, that is true, very true. We are pumping up 50 horsepower, which is the requirement for the lumber, I'm pretty sure. It is, so we can put gears and all sorts in here at some other point down the track, which will be excellent for us. We may even change this one to a gear factory. It takes 120. We can do that at some point. This one hasn't even been started yet, so we'll pause that while we are getting good plank production. We've got 8. How are we going here? Yep, okay, so we can delete that and get our stairs, which we should have enough for. Yes, we do. And we will put them... We'll just put the one in there for now, because this side is obviously high, so we'll be needing a platform to get up there. Once they have built all of these power water wheels, we may even delete these stairs, sacrifice the one log on the 4 planks, and go up and put a double platform in and put the stairs on the land instead. We will of course need a path to them, and put the stairs just in here. We can certainly do that down the track. And we need to figure out how to get down from up here. Now we could definitely come this way and come around, but I think the most direct route, why would they suggest we come this way? Because of the scrap steel, and we have got a lot of farm and forestry down here, so it is probably something, plus with this reservoir, which we could set up a few water collectors around. So it is definitely something that we want to consider. And then coming this way, we do not have an awful lot of options or room for that matter, so that could certainly be the wiser choice. And next time we have a drought, we'll make sure that this ore does indeed stay green. Obviously down there will not. We have no berries, so we do need our farm up and running fairly quickly. And my mind is running a million miles an hour with all the different options that we should be considering. This is, yes, definitely a fun, enjoyable experience of trying to figure everything out, and everyone is different and will have different priorities and have different ideas on what is the best way to go, and different success rates obviously because of that. We need food, so we were late with our farm. We made that mistake previously, I think, in almost forgetting our farm, so we are a little bit, we don't need priority, we're only going to have one. Actually, you need to be manufactured quickly, not slowly. We have another drought coming and we need more logs, and our lumberjack is certainly cutting logs, and we should have enough planks at 6 for now. so he can be paused and not use up the logs that we need for this farm. That may have been my first mistake, and we may not succeed immediately because of it. That's a very, very bad oversight on my part, isn't it? Let's jump into our carrots, and I reckon we can get some more up in here. Hopefully they will all be planted and grow. No, we could even get another one in there. Let's just do this, and we'll delete the ones that aren't planted as soon as this farmhouse gets finished. We had 2 forests in the previous one. We've only got 1 in this one, so let's have a look at the forester 60 site. So as soon as we hit that, we will get that forester, and we may even put it just on top of the hill here, or maybe even down in here somewhere in this corner. See if it gets right out, so that we can make sure our berry, well, we don't really need to plant any more berries. There's certainly enough berries there. Somebody has now just died of hunger, so we've lost 1 to hunger by the looks. A few to old age, but only the 1 to the hunger, so that's unfortunate because of my delay in getting this food organised, the farm. But it will help to keep our numbers down, I guess. We don't need a lot of beavers at the moment. Like I said, we need to be a little bit patient playing at this harder level, especially when those big long droughts come, because there is not a lot of water in this section, and we probably really need to consider levying up across here, and then putting a dam in here, and eventually blowing most of this out all the way down, so that we have plenty of reserve water. And that will probably need to be moved over 1 in that scenario, and we'll put a dam across here. So let's we're not using that at the moment, so we can delete that, and we will delete these 2 that we have pre-placed, and we'll move them all over 1. We'll probably get less power out of this now hitting this wall. That's why we're building 3. A little bit of a waste of logs, 25 to be exact, but our farmhouse is now planting carrots out. Okay, and which ones have we missed? We have missed 1, 2, 3. So we can come in here and take that, and that out. Okay, and with the drought now set in, we can see what greenery we will get maintained by our 2 dams, by our 1 dam here, and we can utilize that section, so hopefully that forest spreads itself out. We also have over here, which we can almost get to with our farm, so we'll have to put another farm in to take advantage of that. We can't really forest anymore up on this top level, which is fine, unless we blast it out later. But we should have enough forest in this section, so let's go and chop down where we're going to put all of our levees in, and it's going to be there. And we'll levy off here and come down, put a levee in here, and then another dam, and hopefully this won't get flooded. It shouldn't do too badly, I would think. And our levees are worth 120 science, and I think that is going to be more important than trying to get platforms. and we will maintain a small population in the interim. The berries are coming back, but we still have no food because we need these carrots to come up. We have 2 more that have died of hunger, and there's a third. Excuse me. So that farm was definitely way too late. We have 3 babies on their way. My apologies everyone watching, that I did just completely forget all about that, having to put that farm in. Now obviously when we levy across here, this greenery is going to come back probably right up to the road, maybe even past the road, and we can utilize all of this for foresting, which would be fantastic. Our forester does take planks. See, we need 1 log for that stair, so we'll bump him up a little bit, and then 25 logs for them. One of these houses is nearly built. We will pause the second one. And then we'll focus on these water wheels. I think it will be the way to go. Get some more planks for our forester, I believe takes planks. Yes it does. And in the interim we'll take 15 logs, so if we get plenty of spare logs we can put some more water tanks down the bottom here. We'll obviously have bigger ones and may even rearrange this top section. It's a bit blocked off to the section around the back. We should have rearranged our housing a bit better, I think. A little bit of a haste and panic, I must admit, but it's all fun and games when playing the game. So we are getting carrots coming in, which is excellent, so we should get some food. Another one, a few more have died of hunger. Oh no, that's our numbers are about the same, so maybe 1 more, maybe not. But we certainly have some food coming in now, so we don't need a huge workforce. This inventor doesn't have anyone in there, but that is quite alright. We still have only 2 builders out of the 4. That is fine. Those 2 locations will pick up, and we'll maintain a very small population in the interim as a defense measure against. We should have really pathed right around this to begin with and built away from it, but that's okay. We can move one of these breeding pods. They don't take a lot. 10 logs over a house, which is 40. And we can come straight up the side here, and it will still be nice and close for water and food. The extra distance is a bit of an issue, but realistically once we get haulers and everything, it's being on hard, it may make a huge difference, but in the other playthrough we did on easy with the folk tails, it was really not a problem at all. And we are building the water wheels, and we are up at 100, and so I think we should probably get our forester next, just to make sure. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good spot right there. It can even get around to the back. Let's build it there, and even that can get around to the back. We will not be worrying about our maples and our chestnuts. We will just be doing, well actually we will be worrying about our maples because they bring in the best amount of wood. So we'll be planting maples in there. We won't be planting anything on that bottom level. because we want to make sure that we keep that for our levies. And we'll just bring it across and see what gets planted and what doesn't. We'll be needing planks, which we have none of, so we need to prioritise some of these power wheels, these water wheels here, and levies will be most likely the next thing that we head for. So let's remove all of our furrow cutting up the top. There's a couple that we can still get. And then we can clear this section down the bottom and flood it. And we may even sacrifice this wheel in the corner here. It's not a huge issue. And just put 2 dams at the back so we can double levy that to protect that lumber mill. 12 logs over 20 logs, so it will actually be cheaper to double levy here and have 2 dams at the bottom. That should increase the water flow through these bottom 2 wheels, and the top one will probably get nothing, but that's okay. And pass the steps, which we will delete at some point once everything else has been manufactured. And here comes the water back. And we will have a look to see how that pans out in the long run. You're being manufactured, excellent. So we need that to get our forester up and running before too long. Our numbers, our food and water are coming back. So we are maintaining our current population levels through these small droughts. The longer droughts will be very interesting, and that is spinning up really nicely. And as predicted, the first one is yes and no, yes and no. Once we get the dams in, I think we'll find that it might pick up just a little bit. It is my OCD coming in, filling it up. Does cost 25 logs, but that's running at 50 just by itself, so there is plenty of power moving through here. Absolutely plenty of power. And we can build something up on the top here, turn this section into a larger water wheel, because it needs some support at 2 deep, or 2 high rather. And we may even put our gear shop, because that will produce up to 180 horsepower, and we need 120 for the gears. So we may even look at putting gears up here. We may even get 2 in and power them off the 1 double wheel sitting in behind here. That will get good water flow. These smaller ones are rated to 40, and this one is at 50, so we're already getting over the required threshold. It's getting the planks that it needs, so we can boost that up. And we already have 1 vacancy, so numbers need to increase a little bit. We have 2 homeless. 40 logs, do we build it? Let's just build it. It's only logs. As in the series 2, even though we died, we had plenty of logs spare, so logs will really not be an issue. And this whole section is chopped down. So our log supply has come to a screaming halt. Until these particular ones here get up and running and fully grown. We could put more farmland on this side, so let's go and chop down these ones as well. And we do want maples, not pine. There's another one that will get chopped down. And we will bring that up as well. I don't think one will grow there. And I don't think any will grow here either. Won't take long to clear that whole section. And look, as you can see, we have other ones pop up. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And we will put maples in. We'll see how far they get. They should get right up. And we'll only put them into here for now. I think it'll be wise to organise this second section prior. Yep, there we go. So we'll see if they get planted in those two spots. And we want to organise our levies, which we can do now. Levies 120. Let's open that up. 12 logs, and we want to come there and then across there. And it's not going to be much of a muchness, really, is it? And as soon as we have all of this chopped down, we won't put levee in here until we have all this constructed, because then it can overflow at this point, and then we can dam it. And then we will have to consider watching the amount of water we have. We could put floodgates in, of course, or whether we just dam it and put a water pickup on a higher level, which is certainly an option. We could put a water pickup just up in the corner here, or even in this corner. We could even continue our levying all the way across and put some greenery over the back. I think for now we'll just leave it as it is. We have a couple of more wheels to produce. This will probably, maybe we turn this into our gears. We'll see. Yes, it's all up in the air at the moment, but such is life. Plans must evolve and change as conditions do, and we don't have to worry about our droughts just yet, but we'll probably will have to very shortly, as our numbers are now increasing. And we have someone. Oh, that is what the problem is. Now we will get some planks. We definitely need the maple trees to increase our log supply. And as predicted, that wheel is not doing anything at all while moving it forward. And there is the drought setting in, and the wheel going backwards. Our food is plentiful, and our two farmers are just keeping up with the carrots coming in. So adding those extra few, so the 50 carrots to the two farmers at this point in time looks to be about right. I don't mind if they don't quite harvest all of them. That's better than harvesting them all and then sitting on their butts, on their tails. We need to get this all logged out. We can now bring our levee across. Leave a gap so I can still get through. And I think what we will do A double floodgate would be nice. That's 250 science. So we'll leave this and we'll wait until that entire levee system is manufactured, and then we will probably get the double floodgate and put in here so that we can release the water slowly, get some power while we release and refill this section, and then we can release it some more and refill it again with getting some power, and then it is quite wide, so evaporation will definitely play its part as it did in the last failed playthrough. And we shall see how we get on, and we could even make this section chestnuts if we wanted to down the track. It's never an issue. We have plenty of trees still to cut down, so we could even do that for now and make him focus on these ones out here. And our forester just needs one more plank, so as soon as we get the drought is over, we will get that up and running. So far, touch wood, so good. Plenty of science, and we wanted the double floodgate next. 250. We are we're over halfway there. We're actually 3/5 of the way there, over that now. And we'll let them do their thing. Plenty of berries again, so the food numbers should really increase. No one is starving, no one is dying of thirst. One water pump seems to be enough for this many beavers. We may need to put a second one in, which should not be an issue. Maybe we should consider putting more water tanks in, but again, we're getting a good supply, although we do need to be prepared for the future. So let's just do it. 15 logs each. The forester is about to come online, so we are nearly at 4/5 of our double floodgates too. We can actually build them now, or we can place them at least. And what we will do is put a pause on this wheel so they can access that building area, and we will build. He can get to there through here, but I think we will build this one first, and then this floodgate, and then this floodgate. And we will probably put an emphasis on this one too. That's got 2 or 12 logs, and then that one can be the next emphasis, and then they can be normal. So we build this section, and then we can build back. We're just going to make sure that we don't leave anyone stranded on the inside. We don't really need a levee there, but we will put one there just for the sake of it. And we will see how that influences back here. I think we will find that we'll open up a lot more of this, and we can actually maybe even put another farm, couple of farmhouses, and we may even utilize this for some grilled potatoes down the track. Carrots and potatoes, maybe some potatoes and some wheat. They can have much larger numbers of plots per farm. So the carrots on the hard mode is 50. Seems to be the way to go. I don't know if it is different between the two, or if we just had incorrect numbers in the last playthrough. It was only a guesstimate really, but it definitely looks to be about 50, because the extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yep, 50 is a good way to go. Alternatively, if we have beehives, 48, because 7 7s are 49. That's the beehive shape. You take one out of the middle, that makes 48. They can definitely maintain one of those. Although here we have 5 by 10, which is our 50, and they seem to be. The carrots are certainly always having one ready to be harvested before we need it, which is good. So 48 by 48 beehive carrots is more than enough. And we are losing water, so our water tanks are definitely a requirement. So let's just increase the priority of that one. We need the levee and the tanks. It's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't. We have 4 builders, which is good. Our logs are not keeping up, and neither are our planks, because we are in drought, so we have no production. You see we are full of logs, so most of our logs are down here waiting to be manufactured into planks, which is fine. I do not have an issue with that. At least there's always spares, and we are well and truly up past our double floodgate, which we can get now. Yes, and we will put one in there and one in there, and we will turn this one up. And they can manufacture that. Here we go with our power, and we are getting 40 odd, 670, plenty of power through both systems. Although if we just pause it, you'll see we got 106 with 1 wheel and 82 with 3. That's interesting. I don't think the steps make any difference, but they may do, and obviously we will be changing them. And we can even redesign this down the track as we get more materials, and we can afford to completely delete some of this stuff. And we get the bigger wheels, we can put a wheel support in where this non-spinning one is, and a double there, right behind the floodgates. And we can do something similar on this side, and change the orientation of our path and change the orientation of this building. And that'll mean that we will be able to. It has no materials given to it yet, so these may have been a waste. We shall. That's 75 logs we could have used elsewhere, so that is definitely a waste, unfortunately. But such is my my OCD persistence in planning. This building isn't connected. Oh, we have put it in exactly the wrong spot, haven't we? Crap. Okay, so we will have to delete that and start again. I did not even pick up on that, too busy chin wagging. If we were to turn it that way. Alright. And we'll start it again. 10 logs, 7 planks down the drain. That is a definite disappointment, to say the least, and a massive, massive error. Personally, I'm really not happy about that at all. That kind of sucks, to be honest. That's really bad. That's a really bad not paying attention to details. So another little hint and trick to take on board. Double check everything. You can, one of the things I've been thinking about is even sitting down and doing a quick sketch of this stuff. Obviously our water is a lot different. We have two feeding into one. So the water flow down here is going to be a lot better than what we have. And we want to utilize that as much as possible. There's not a lot of straight sections to easily get power from. We could share power from both sides, and we could put wheels in here leading this way and wheels in here and join them up to the same production facility, and we'll gain the benefit of both water flows that way. But ideally we want to find a nice straight section through here to benefit from. We could even levy and direct it into a certain narrower stream. We have done that in the past and had flooding issues upstream, but with everything at too high, apart from here and here, considering that we want the wheels to be too high, we could definitely double levy, narrow that up a bit, bring the levies up here probably to there, or maybe even because they join here, so we do want a nice straight section, which we have. So yeah, it would come from there up, and then it would have to come across if we got flooding. And we would obviously have to levy the other side, and everywhere else is much taller. And if we come right down, we would have to blast all of this out first, which we could do, and have our wheels here, which would realistically probably be the best option of all. And we can have a pump water into there and make that a reservoir, and we would be able to put our district center up on here, access to there, access across, access down here, some berries, hence the reason of coming across this way, down across here, and then we just have to get up here. Otherwise I'd have to build down there, which possibly wouldn't reach far enough this way, and we could always move that. So we're in a 10-day drought this time. Drought has started. Yes, drought is in progress. So let's see how our beavers get on. And I believe he has nothing to do. That is correct. Alright, so we will pause it there, and we will remove our cutting from here, and we can now finish our levies. That'll all be manufactured beautifully. Our forester unfortunately has to be rebuilt, which is not going to happen while we have nothing to do in range for our woodcutter, that is for sure. So I think for now we can get rid of these. That'll provide some. That is oh dear. Oh well, such is life. We shall move on, and then we'll look at cutting down some of the ones up here, and if we run out of those, we are really in trouble. Really in trouble. So the levies themselves just take logs. It's 10 planks for the double floodgates we have to be careful of. So this forester actually needs to be high prioritized, doesn't it? Oh dear, we should be planting trees and having maples grow, yet we are not, so a further delay. Yeah, I said this was a 10-day drought, I believe. We have had 16-day droughts, so if this water is getting close to disappearing, we could be in a lot of trouble. We need to secure a better water source for sure. And we have some planks. We'll see if he decides he has nothing to do in range again before this last little one down the bottom here grows. And 3 unemployed. So our numbers are pretty well good where they are. We could contemplate on pausing one. One has just died of old age. So do we pause our breeding pods or one of them, or do we not? Our science is creeped back up to 300, which is excellent. I'm going to let that go as far as humanly possible, because if we have a look in here at our control tower, a tall structure that sends out a signal to nearby golems to boost their performance, and it uses 3 science every hour, and our inventor produces 1 every hour. The number cruncher is 10 every hour, so we need to increase our science as high as possible while we have the opportunity to. And then we can, when we get golems, then we can start putting control towers around willy-nilly. Number crunchers, which will take power, and progress from there. We can do the figures on, obviously 1 number cruncher will do 3 and a bit towers, will leave us with 1 science left over to build up the number, and then we can put in 3 number crunchers. Will give us 10 towers, and so we have to consider that when we are doing our manufacturing, particularly of our self-sustaining golem section down underneath this one where the mine is. We'll have to look at making sure we have enough number crunchers. We can utilize the power section in this little area here, and across here we can expand our plank production and our gear production, and I think I will delete that for now. Yes, so we will most likely have, because we wanted to reorientate that and get more in here, didn't we, at some point? I've already forgotten what we were going to do there. You probably hated me for that, but that's okay. I am only merely human, not beaver. And we 5.5 days of the drought still to go, and the water is being maintained so far, although it is definitely dropping to the point of non-existence. And we will be removing this very, very shortly, and then we will have to alter our cutting, so we can remove that. No, we'll leave that in there. We do want that cutting to be in here. for when those trees are planted. At some point, considering I completely messed up my forest up, but anyway, you get that. Unfortunately. Oh dear. Oh well, moving on. Moving on. And our levies are starting to be produced, which is good. We do need logs. There we go. We have got rid of that one. So let's cut to our heart's content. Take them all. I want this up and running. That has all the planks. That still needs some logs. That priority can be reduced so that this one gets done first. It is definitely more important, and we have one. So we can have more carrots than we currently do. Oh, just. Okay. So the carrot farmers are getting more efficient. And I guess they'll get more and more efficient over time. Let's put another row of carrots in. We are definitely going to be needing them. They appear to all be getting eaten with the numbers that we have at the present time. So before we go too far in expanding our population, we will, and there it is. 3 days left, so we definitely need more water source, more water storage. That will not be the worst drought that we will see. 7%, so all our carrots are going to die. So food is becoming a bit of an issue. So I think we should probably pause one of our breeding pods. And we'll keep an eye on things. This could be a dramatic failure like the last attempt. Perhaps another farm, which we can certainly afford. We did that last time. We managed to survive all but the real long droughts because we did not have the water. So we definitely need the levees to come up. And perhaps we even plan on bringing the levee further up and taking it straight across and damming over here, putting in our water pickup right up this end for now. For the start, we will have another attempt at this if it does fail. That would make pretty much all of this green. We would lose some of our berries, which wouldn't be an issue because we would have carrots, and we would probably put carrots in both sides of here and expand them, have our forest up the top there, and if this is all green we could have more farmland over the back when we levy it across here. It is a big evaporation area, unfortunately, but it would also be a lot more water, and the water would first come this way before spilling over the edge. We would have to make sure we had the resources ready to go at the end of it. Oh well, it would actually be back here, so we could definitely do that. We could just levy in here and then build out 2 floodgates on top of a couple of levees. Have some minor flooding, which wouldn't be an issue, I guess. The water should stick to the outside as it comes around when it's full, so we'll get some minor flooding on the inside, and then any of that floods in here would soon disappear anyway, so that would work. So that is a plan next time around. we would need plank production. We would need platforms to build all of our, because eventually we would blast through here, so we could put platforms in and buildings on top, and when we blasted it we would get through. And how have we gone? Everyone has died of old age. Excellent, so we lost no one to hunger or thirst that time around. Water is coming back. Food will be coming back. We have berries. We'll stick with the one breeding pod. We have 16 beavers, 3 unemployed, so that's more than enough for our little settlement at this stage. And I think it's a good time to take a break. So we will end things for this episode there. It has been long and frustrating. This is a very slow process, I must admit. And we are already getting flooding because we have built our floodgate in early. We will leave that at a height of 0.5. That'll fix that instead of 1.5. Synchronise with the ones around it. We shall see how that goes. So that's good. That's immediately flooded up. We have excellent water flow for our power. There is a lot of water flowing down there at the moment. The current that seems to be quite good, which is good news for future touch wood drought survival. And yet they are starting to build more of the levees, and we need some planks, which we should get produced now. We have plenty of logs in there and it's 1-to-1, so we have enough for all of our planks. It's just a matter of them actually doing it. I have no intentions of increasing the population or I guess doing anything else except for putting out our maple tree plantation. So we might even rejoin this district when we have our levees done, our floodgates done, and we have another flood already on its way. There is very minimal time for any production, so we will need engines at some point, which we'll probably put up here so we can do our production run. And I think eventually we may even levy all the way across. We'll see how much water we have. When this is done, I don't like our chances of having enough to survive those long droughts, so we definitely need to keep our numbers down and we need our water tanks full. And our food, we have nothing, so we may even need that second farm sooner rather than later. And yes, we will our production may have to increase up here in a very long future point. Alternatively, we may have to levy across here, and then we can once we get dynamite and we can start dynamiting all of this out, we will be a lot better off. We can have a huge reservoir of water up here, and we can even bring it right to the edge, and that is a good point. If we levy across here, we will need to come across here as well, or up here at least a certain distance. So we will need steps if we do that, so levees and steps will be a definite need. If we have to restart, but we're going okay at this point in time. Oh no, we have had 1, 2, 3, 4 die of thirst already, which will dwindle our numbers, which is not really too much of a problem. So we will put in another, actually we'll go and put it in up here, I think. in preparation. And where's it going to go? There, right in that corner. So we will put it up here. We'll remove these couple of berry bushes. And we'll put another water collector in. Just because looks like we will be needing it, especially with the drought coming very quickly. Probably too slow on the uptake for that, so if we do redo this, we'll have to obviously think about all these things that we've now just learnt. Benefit of being in a game and not in real life, we can go back and start again. We may even delete this whole thing and start anew with that in mind, and put both of our water collectors up this end. One there. We can even have it on the other side here. We shall see. We'll see if we get through this next drought, and we'll come back when everything is built.